Hey guys, Base Bump here, bringing you this 10.2 Unholy Death Knight quick guide. Almost everything you need to know about the Unholy Death Knight in a very short format, so strap yourself in, let's go. For talents, we have two raid builds, the default one, Defile one. Default one is on all bosses except Tyndall and Gnarlroot when you run the Defile one to get extra AoE. Talents for Mythic Plus, we have the Disease one, this is like go-to standard one. We have your Wound one, which is your alternative. Wound 1 specifically works well for big AoE pools, as well as when packs die really quickly, because it does actually get its damage out a bit quicker. When it comes to gear, we have two embellishments we want. Generally, you want to go for the versatility wrist and a Shadow Flame patch in whatever spot fits you best, generally the cloak. For Mythic Plus, you do Verse wrist, and then you do either Lariat, Blue Silken, or the Haste legs. When it comes to trinkets, we want to run a Mirror and the Signet brand in raid. Alternative Signet brands are any of these passive trinkets that do give nice stats, but Mirror is kind of locked in. When it comes to stats, we want Haste and Mastery to be our highest stats by far, and generally we want Mastery to be above Haste so we can proc our Mirror into Mastery. Very important, look at your raw stats, Mastery above Haste. As a general though, just sim your character, it will tell you and figure this out for you. Right, when it comes to rotation, we are looking at a core rotation where you build the wounds with Festoon Strike, burst them with Claw Shadow / Scourge Strike, depends on the talent you pick there, and you spend your Rune Power and Death Gall, and then you refresh your dot with Outbreak. That's the core rotation. For the opener, I got it up here. That's very fixed in stone when it comes to raid, so just make sure you learn that and then follow that as closely as possible. Once you executed this, your Gargant is out, you want to prioritize Death Gall above all things, and as a general rule, never overcap on Rune Power, so Death Gall is actually going to have a really high priority everywhere. When it comes to Cooldown Management after this point, you have it up there. Essentially, you use everything you have every 45 seconds. If you do that, everything aligns at the 3-minute mark, you will be able to use your big cooldowns again. The one thing to note is 1, Apocalypse should always be used at 4 wounds in single target, and 2, Empowering Weapon, you hold that for your second burst window. So obviously it comes off cooldown at the 2-minute mark, but you hold it for your 3-minute burst. When it comes to Mythic Plus and your AoE, what you want to do for the Disease build here is that when you enter a pack, you want to start with Defile, follow up with a Scourge Strike, and then apply your dots. After this point, you use all your cooldowns. Once that's done, you want to 1, spend your Rune Power on Epidemic, 2, refresh your Plaguebringer buff by pressing Scourge Strike, and 3, reapply your Defile once the buff from Defile drops off. You'll notice that the actual cleave you get when you stand in Defile lasts for 10 seconds, and then you have the buff that lasts for 3 seconds afterwards. The ideal scenario is just before it runs out, you press Scourge Strike to refresh your Plaguebringer and get some value from that cleave. Epidemic until you press down your Defile, and then you can then Scourge Strike Epidemic again. Scourge Strike is primarily used here to funnel Rune Power into Epidemic. For the wound build, you have different paradigm. What you do here is you pop down Defile. You're going to use all your cooldowns, so Dark Transformation, Holy Assault, all those kind of things. Make sure you use Apocalypse early for both builds so you can actually leverage the 4 set we have. After this point, you just want to spam Claw Shadows when you're standing in Defile. If you can't press Claw Shadows, you press Epidemic. In the gap between Defiles, you know, the 3 seconds I talked about, try and use Epidemics. So you spam Claw Shadows in Defile. When it runs out, that's in the cleave runs out, you're going to spam Epidemic. And then you pop down next Defile, and then you spam Claw Shadows again. Alright, so that's your Unholy Death Knight in a quick and easy to understand manner, hopefully. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought about this video. Upvote, downvote, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.